Hey, my sweet friends, it's time to feel a little blue today, but in the very best ways of feeling blue. I'm participating in the Breakfast at Tiffany event that was curated by the Chuffed Berry Circle group. So you're going to see a link to that group in the description if you're wondering where all the other presentations were shared. But come on in, come on in. If you don't know me, I'm Summer Hammonds Nest, and I am so happy you're here. Let me go make sure I am live in the right spot. That's always very important. And there I am, and there you are. So when you join in, I would love for you to first say hi, especially if you're watching on the replay. Tell me where you're watching from. If you're new to my channel here on Facebook, I love all the vintage, rusty, crusty, thrifted things, in case you're wondering. I love that style. I just have an appreciation for things that look kind of old and loved. And so there's going to be a little bit of that flair going on in my project today. So it does have the theme of blue, which I will be using the color Cascade by Folk Art. If you've never used that color, it's a pretty one for sure. And I've got a freebie for you while you're hanging out with me, or if you're catching this on the replay, whenever. I will be using, not this entire print, but I'm going to be using the little bunny family on this print. And you can comment freebie and you can get access to my freebie library over on my blog at hammondsnest.com. And then it'll kind of, you can scroll through, pick the one you want, and then follow the instructions. So it's pretty easy. Hey, Danielle with Imperfect Dust is in the house. Sarah with Booksy and Button. Okay, so here, I don't normally time myself, but because I'm in this fun event, I got 45 minutes, y'all. So I've got until 1 o'clock, and after that, my friend Sarah over at Booksy and Button Designs, you see her in the comments here now. She'll be the next presenter up. So come on in, get comfy. Let's create something with lots of texture and interest and this pretty weathered look like I warned you when you first got on here. So, but I've got a few things to do, so I better get busy. All right. We'll come back to this later, but this is printed on tissue paper. We're going to be decoupaging it. So we're going to put this to the side, but this is a cutie. It comes in an 8x10. I did stretch it out a little bit to make the bunny family about 7 inches wide for this particular project. I'll recap that when I get back around to it. Okay. And then what I'm working with today, let me put my little craft mat down. This is my favorite little silicone mat that protects my pretty surfaces here from all the paint slinging. All right, I'm gonna get it in place. So now we're good to go there. And I picked up, it's not like top of the line quality or anything like that, but y'all, it's super affordable. This came from the spring section of Hobby Lobby. It's a little mason jar, $2.99 regularly. So what does that mean? It's under $2 by the time you take 40% off. So it's just a little mason jar. So we're gonna get started on that and do a pretty weathered finish. Hello, y'all. How's everyone doing? Thank you for saying hi, friends. Robin, Kathy, Karen, Sharon, Valerie, Cheryl. How are y'all doing? Okay, so for anybody that knows some of the things that I already answered, I love for y'all to be my friends while y'all are watching me live. And if someone asks where I got something, would you pretty please let them know? And just be a friend to me, and we'll tag team that together. But I'm going to go ahead and clip off the little jute string, because we got some painting to do just to hold that up. This came out of the spring shop at Hobby Lobby, and it was 40% off. So there's that. Now, what shall we do first? We need to go ahead and get some of this Cascade on here to start drying. And y'all stay with me. I will definitely try to take you through all the steps and do the best I can. Look, and I even got in theme decor. I'm wearing blue, which y'all know is a brighter color for me. So I was excited to get invited to this, and there are lots of crafty presenters all day today and tomorrow, and you can find that in the cherry, oh, I say buffed cherry group, and that link is in the description of this video. So let me get a little bit of this paint on here. Hey, Sheila at Sweetie's Creations and Decor, and Andrina at Lee Lexi. How are y'all? Okay. So I've got my water spritzer here. I just kind of want this to glide a little bit. This is a pretty dry, kind of cheapy wood. And sometimes one of my little tricks is just to give it a little water mist. That'll help it glide a little bit better. So we're going to do that. We've got lots of painting we have to do on this. So I better get to it. If I miss an important comment, ask again. I'll do my best to, I'll do my best to get to it. But I gotta focus and make sure, because y'all probably, just guessing, probably want to see a finished product by the time it's all done, right? So let me give you some hints about what we're making while I'm painting. It's gonna be interchangeable decor. So maybe give me some, let me know if you think you know, and no cheaters for my Creative Nest members. That's my crafting club. They already got a sneak peek as to what I was going to be making. But y'all are not cheaters, I know, but no cheating if you know. So it's going to be interchangeable. I am going to decoupage. You can tell it's a mason jar. So I've got some other embellishments and elements that will come later in the video that'll make this idea complete. So give me any guesses that you might have. If you want the bunny print, comment freebie. That is going to give you a link in your inbox to my freebie page on my blog at hammondsnest.com. And you will be able to scroll through there and just follow the prompts of any of the prints that you want over there. And how did that get in there? I got a little pink streak happening. Let's get rid of that. And then this one's going to be one of the newer ones you see at the top because I just released it not too long ago. Hey, hey, everybody. Isn't it pretty, Lisa? So you've got lots of options on how to use it because it comes as an 8x10 download. So you can just pop it in frame. Or you can do what I'm doing today, and I'm just concentrating on the bunny part. And I use it on this little mason jar. So wait till you see how cute. Okay, but because I am decoupaging with tissue paper, okay, I'm decoupaging with tissue paper, and it's very thin, very transparent, see-through. I'm going to put a little vintage white. This is called vintage white. Yes, it is. By Folk Art. I'm going to put just a little bit of that in the center where I'm going to be decoupaging, so it's not terribly blue. Let me put that in the water here. Try not to get my blue shirt messed up. So I got a little vintage white on my plate. I'm just going to kind of create an area here in the center. It's going to give me more of a white background versus a blue. Now, it's still a little wet, but trust me, it'll just be a little bit better than that blue. Because what it'll do, y'all know, a lot of you decoupage pros, it's going to add, it'll be too blue behind it. So I kind of want it to pop a little bit. So let's just make that blue a little bit lighter. Going to give that a little dry. All right. So glad y'all are hanging out. Lisa said, no cheating here. Thank you, Stephanie. Who doesn't love some bunnies? For Easter or springtime, I couldn't resist doing some bunnies on today's project. I'll get a little bit more white in the center there. And just as a thank you always for just hanging out with me here, whether it's today for this special event or whenever, I do love to gift y'all some free printables from time to time. All right, so this is looking good. Just got a little bit of a white center there. It's just giving us kind of a place to put our printable. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's gonna be great. I know it looks a little messy now, but trust me, it'll make sense. It'll make sense. It is. Well, I'm surely hoping it's going to be so beautiful. For sure. All right, we got a lot of things happening on this one, you'll see. So while that's doing a little bit of air drying, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab this embossed scrapbook paper. Have y'all seen this at Hobby Lobby? I'm sure y'all have. I'm going to do a little tracing here. I'm going to get me a piece that's going to go on the top to be like the metal lid of my mason jar. And any guesses as to how I love seeing y'all's guesses. I'm going to have to check out comments here in just a minute. Definitely don't be shy. Oh, thank you, Linda. Yes, you can swipe away if you want to move the comments away. Here's this too. If you want to move the comments away a little bit to be able to see better what I'm doing, that cuts my head off a little bit too much. Especially for those of you that are hanging out with me new here today. I want y'all to be able to get to know me. All right, so while that's doing a little bit of air drying on its own, let's go ahead and get this cut out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it straight on top of there. So we're going to be pulling out the Mod Podge here in a minute. Y'all seen some cute projects today? Tell me some that you've gotten to watch out of all the presenters today. They've been up to. I'll be going all day today. I don't know what time it ends, but it'll start tomorrow morning again at 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay, then I'm just going to cut this straight across. All right, now I have me a little top piece for my mason jar. Okay, gotta trust the process with this one, okay? This one's got a lot of layers, a lot of things going on with it. And I am being very bold, thinking I am definitely gonna get through this, am I not? Send me some hearts, send me some thumbs up, cheer me on. I'm gonna get through this one. You watched everything and they're all amazing, no doubt. I love that you get to kind of showcase that many people in a day and get to be introduced to some new people, so that's really fun. All right, I'm gonna need some more of this Mod Podge. Anyways, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a good healthy coat on here. If you have never picked up this scrapbook paper, it has kind of a papery feel to it. It's got a pearlescent look to the top of it. Would be real pretty leaving it as is, depending on what your style is. And so usually if you're doing a little bit of glue and you need a good little, I mean, not gopping it on there, but you need a healthy coat. I also really don't want it to slip and slide around, so I'm going to give it a little hot glue as well. Kathy's was awesome, no doubt, and she is a trooper. She got up early in the morning. All right, so just a little bit of hot glue to hold that in place there. All right, you keeping up? All right, now we have the top to our mason jar lid. And I need to get some other plates. I'm gonna again gop this with some, gop it, I like that word, more Mod Podge, because have y'all ever gotten Mod Podge and white paint mixed up while you're crafting? That could be a thing. Dip it in the white paint instead of the Mod Podge. Probably happens. All right, got some good Mod Podge. Going to grab some cinnamon, of course. Who doesn't love this technique? It can be distressed well. It's a great, I've used it on a lot of different things. Made little pumpkins with it. All right, I'm just doing a little bit of sprinkling. I'm not really that country. I just like saying that word like that. Sprinkling. I do drop my G's now, y'all, so if that bothers you. I didn't say, if you are new to me, I'm actually located in my home studio here in North Louisiana. Anybody near me? Texas neighbors? Arkansas? Mississippi? Hey, oh, Jennifer, Canvas on Designs, your door hanger. I called your door hanger. It was adorable. Okay, so now I'm just kind of brushing the cinnamon around, getting it to stick. This is a lot like, if you have never tried this is like, you remember in grade school when they would put the school glue on there and they would sprinkle the glitter? This is a lot like that technique, except you're doing it with cinnamon. It's very pretty. Just, it's a fun look. But I want to make sure it gets on all that wet Mod Podge. Okay, I did skip one step that I would have liked to have done, but it's okay. It's okay. That's just because I'm thinking through all the things. So when I worked through this project already, I did put some brown paint down first. I'm going to do a little bit of that because I forgot. I'm using the color Espresso. It happens. And what I did for my sample is I painted the whole thing in Espresso to cover up the silver-y pearl color. So what we're going to do, So we're gonna fix it up, and we're gonna dab some of it on here and there and cover up any of that. And this will be, it'll look cool. Anywho. All right. A little bit more Mod Podge. It kind of has a real rusty color to it. That's the Deco Art Espresso, and it is a very pretty brown. So it's gonna go just fine with the look. I don't want to spend too much time on this part because it needs to dry. All right. But we got this, right? We got this. It's gonna turn out fabulous. Okay. Now I need a little bit more Mod Podge, and I'm just gonna give it like a little sealing coat. So this just kind of looks like a rusty, crusty top to the mason jar. And we did it up wonderful. And that lets you know that if you do something and you got to pivot, I promise you can make it happen. Okay, we're going to do a little dabbing right here. That's just going to get that Mod Podge down in all the crevices of that embossing. And we'll let that do some drying. I wonder if anybody guessed kind of what I was going to be doing with this mason jar, since I said it was interchangeable. Isn't that fun? I love interchangeable decor. If you've hung out with me for a little while, I do make a good bit of it. It's just fun to me to think that I can change something out. Give it a new look at a different time. Okay, it looks a little milky now, but it's going to dry and it's going to be super duper cool. I'm going to go ahead. I'm kind of liking this happy accident, like Bob Ross says. And I love this espresso color, so I'm going to dab it a little bit here and there anyway. And it's just going to give us a little bit of a different look. So I'm just going to dab that on top. So the orange of the cinnamon and the dark brown of the espresso, it's really pretty together. Look at that. We're just going to embrace that accident and go with it. Do a little faux finishing. Do y'all like that? I love faux finishing. Okay. They're good, Chris. How are you? My girls are really well. Finishing up their homeschool lessons today. Oops, I got a little bit on there. Let's put that in there. Baby wipes. Hey, hey. I do too. Amber Guidry says she loves interchangeable decor, and so do I. I'm actually going to put something there later, but I just got to clean this up just because. Okay. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Interchangeable is the best, Jennifer. Okay, so we're going to let that dry. I don't know why I put my Mod Podge off to the side. I'm going to need that plate back out. Let's get this print on here, shall we? Now, let me tell you what I did. If you're curious about how, it's so easy, but if you're curious about how you're supposed to print on tissue paper, you can head to my blog at hammondsnest.com and search how to print on tissue paper. I've got a blog over there for you, but let me just tell you how easy. All I do is I get the white tissue paper and I use some Scotch tape and I tape it to a piece of cardstock and I run it through my inkjet printer. And that is all there is to it. Now, I'm not using this entire piece, right? I'm actually going to use a little bit of water. And I'm going to get a brush. I'm just going to kind of go around the little bunnies. And what I'm doing is going to make it really easy for me to tear away. But you can print on, y'all know if you decoupage with napkins and you have to pull off the second ply and the third ply, you can print on those using the same technique. Just tape it to a piece of cardstock. You can print on fabric. I also have a blog over there telling you how to print on fabric, which I love so much. And then let me think of the other one. You got rice paper, all that good stuff. Okay, so after the water has kind of set on that for a little while, you just kind of start pulling away. See how that works? So you can tell the wet parts. You can see the wet parts that I went around the little design. And we are good. We are good. Okay, I want a little bit more. Then you can look at it. So now I've got the little ripped paper, and now I can just kind of look at it, and it ends up being very transparent when it's on tissue paper like this. If you want more of an opaque look, you would need to use something maybe even like thicker rice paper or some other kind of decoupaging paper, computer paper, cardstock, something like that. Okay. So knowing that it's going to take on the background, that was one of the reasons. I probably did a little too big, but it's okay. We have paint and we can draw things. I'm trying to figure out how low that I want it. Still got some other things I need to do. Okay, let's move on and get some Mod Podge on here. We've got so many layers we're going to be putting on this. So I'm not really too concerned about the colors. I'm going to be blending it out and everything. And I was just kind of guesstimating I should have done it more like this. But it all works out, as you can see. I mean, look at that crustiness with our accident at the top, how it's drying. So pretty. The wood cutout is from Hobby Lobby. Did I mention that? Spring Shop. All right, and sometimes just as a little bit of a little hack for you, if I want to keep my Mod Podge workable for just a little while longer, I'll just give it a light mist with a mister bottle with water. It's a water-based product, so that'll help me smooth it out and just keep it workable a little longer. So let's lay this down. About right there is what I'm thinking. Okay, and then now I can come back around and I can just be like, make sure that it's all glued down in the right spot. Isn't this fun? If you've been with me for a little while, you know, I don't really do anything quite this color all the time, but I do find the turquoise colors to be, it makes me think of, makes me think of the vintage ball mason jars that are turquoise. So that's what made me think to use that. Yep. Great. That's right. Dana said you can print on all the things. My favorite to print on, though, most favorite to print on is fabric. All day long. So I have an HP little cheap, like $50, $60 printer I've had for, like almost 10 years, maybe 8, 9 years. And yeah, that's what I do all my little crafting projects on. Oh, that's funny, Jennifer. Okay, so now I want to take some of the strong color of the Cascade and I just want to kind of blend out around. Oh yes, definitely. So I did, the first technique I ever tried when printing on fabric was, let me miss my brush, was I used spray glue, and I didn't love that so much. So then I used some like stick glue, like school glue kind of. The stick comes. I'm just finishing blending out from around this print real quick before we get it dry. We got some other stuff we got to do to it. And so we're just getting rid of some of that white that may have ended up around there. It's going to look great. And it gives some variation to the color, so I love that. Kind of hard to see with the light on it for me. But it's going to be great. So yeah, y'all let me know your favorite things. Do you use a lot of printables in your crafting? Because it's super fun. If you don't, a good place to start is decoupaging and crafting with napkins and cardstock. Cutting up little pieces and repurposing parts of things like magazines and cards, greeting cards. You can craft and you can, you know, get creative with those. So I'm having to hold it out of the light to see where else I need to do a little bit of, this is going to give it a little bit of glassiness, even though we're about to do something really vintagey to it. But there is, trust the process so far. So we've got it blended out a little bit more around the printable. Y'all, I gotta get busy. All right, hold on. Let's see. Let me get this dry. Thank you, Kefani's Crafts. I appreciate that so much. Sorry the dryer is so loud. Thank you for the love, Edith. Yvonne at Southern Designs and Finds. She says she uses printables all the time. Potter's Crafty Corner. Hey, Sue. She uses printables all the time, too. And she loves printing on fabric because she sews. So she uses them for patches and things on her projects. I got to make sure this is good and dry. I am being bold here because I know that I have to get this dry, but I think I can do it. I think I can do it. I think I can. I think I can. I just can't help it. I think I can just speed it up and I can get it dry. I'm going to pull out some fine line crackle varnish. And even if I just get a little bit of crackle, it's going to give me some pretty texture. So this is component 1, the Pentart Fine Crackle Varnish. I'm gonna move through it. I want this to be just so perfect. This looks a lot like Mod Podge, it's just a little bit thicker. I'm not going to do it over the printable, though you could. I'm just going to kind of leave it alone because I'm going to be blending it out anyway. It's almost like a little art piece. You could do this on any kind of canvas, wood piece. You don't need this mason jar if you just want to do the artsy part. But if no one guessed it yet, we're going to put a little pocket on the back to hold some flowers. And you can just change those out when you want. So I'm just looking for a little bit of texture here, so I'm gonna get this dry. Look how pretty the Rusty Crusty is drying on the top. Okay, so who's new here? Yes, Dana, thank you. I love the Osnaburg, and it's a type of muslin. I get it at Hobby Lobby. I used to get it at Walmart all the time. And then y'all know all the Walmart departments for crafting and stuff like that got either downsized or some places got rid of all of their fabric and stuff altogether. But you can find it at Hobby Lobby, usually on the back wall. Y'all know, near like the rolled up burlap and stuff. Anyway, it's got these pretty little brown flecks in it that I think just have a ton of character, and I love them. I hear that, Sally. Sally said bunnies are year-round for her. Me too, Yvonne. I love those happy accidents. Bunnies are just, they remind me of spring and new life. So with this fine crackle, I just got some not too long ago. I love the look of it, and let me tell you what I'm excited about. I've got some furniture that I want to try to use it on, because it gives this fine, true crackle that you would see in vintage stuff. And if you give me a good, authentic, chippy finish. Hey, Sarah. Well, welcome. Tammy Hooker, how are you, friend? Yeah, Osnaburg is, I don't know, I got onto that a few years ago, and it's just my favorite. It looks like this. It looks like this. I should have already held that. We're going to pull it out for the bow. But it usually ties into that creaminess that I do with a lot of my crafts anyway. All right, let's get that dry. That's good and dry. So that's number 1. My intrusive thought for the day is that I was afraid I would do part 2 first. Okay, so got that. So let's get, that's not going to fit in there. All right, so then you've got part 2. You're all about the crackle. Yes, Billy, how are you, friend? Okay, so let's got that on there and get that dry. And let's just see if we can get a little bit of crackle. It's, like I said, it's a fine line, like hair crackle. I mean, it is very thin, but we're going to accent it with some antiquing wax. And then we are going to just embellish and do some shading and pop those flowers in there and make a quick little bow. I got time. I can do this. Oh. Okay. So, and I don't have a lot of experience using this stuff, so don't necessarily mimic my movements on that. Just anybody in here use this a lot? Hey, Paula. Oh, you're so sweet. Okay, we got to get dry. So it looks like porcelain cracking. That's what it is. It looks a lot like cracked porcelain, and I love it so much. So let's see if we can get it to do what we want. You see crackle at the bottom? I don't know. Even if I get a little bit, it'll be good. Yeah, pinch arts. 2 parts. Crackle varnish. I have the instructions taped to it so I don't lose it. I ordered mine on Amazon. So, I don't know. Some people are helping you out in the comments. So pretty. I am rushing the process a little bit. So I know that something like this would really love to naturally dry to get the pretty cracks. Thank you, Criseldo. Getting hot in here. I'm trying to let the heat kind of help me a little bit. I don't know whether it loves that or not. But, yep, like a fine porcelain crackle. So, I'm looking to see. I might have rushed the process just a little bit, but look, it's okay because I have some areas of the sample that I can show you. Ooh, I see a little bit of it forming. It's very light, but here's what you do. So we are going to, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a little bit of this mica spray, this just brushed pewter. I forgot this part. And I'm going to spray it a little bit on the lid. It's just going to give it a little bit of a metal. It's a very light touch, but it's going to give it a little bit of a metal feel. All right, let's let that dry too. Now, we are going to put a little bit of antiquing wax on here. If I can get into this jar, I don't have a little, don't come at me and tell me how dangerous this is to use scissors. I know it is, I know it is. All right, this is the Krylon antiquing wax. You can use any kind of antiquing wax, okay? I've got all these products in my fun closet, and I just like to pull them out and use them sometimes. So to go grab any of those crackles that did appear, it's still a little tacky, but you know what, we're going with it. We're just going to brush this on and wipe it back, okay? It's going to be great. Trust me. No matter what, we can make it look good. Right? We just got to keep going sometimes. And sometimes, one of my biggest piece of crafting advice is sometimes the project may not, you know, you may not be committed to finishing the project that day. Sometimes walk away from something, come back to it, and it'll tell you what it wants. Okay, so I just brush a little antiquing glaze on there, and I got a baby wipe. Still a little tacky and a little grungy, but it'll give me some grunge, and it works. If I let this dry and do its thing like it's supposed to, I probably would obviously get better results. This will be one of those things that I'll have to show in a video sometime. When I get really good at it, I'll make sure to share it when I get used to using this fine crackle. Oh, it's going to be fun. We're going to work it in, and we're going to pull in a little bit of that wax over. It just probably didn't have enough time to dry. It's doing a little gumminess, but it looks pretty. It looks just like grunge. So let me hold it up to y'all. So I'm going to keep I'm going to keep working on this and just get some of it off. So I'll have to play some more with the crackle, but I'm going to show you the sample at the end, and I did get it to crackle a little bit on the other sample. It happens. It happens. I've played with this stuff. It is kind of finicky, especially when you are wanting to speed it up. I can tell you that for sure. Okay, so it's just a little gummy is all. Well, that's live crafting for you. It does look old. I'm just trying to get some. I like the edges. I just don't want it to all look like that. Okay. All right, I'm happy with that. So it's just around the little bunny. That looks good. That looks good. The seriousness of how I said that. I got to get busy, though. I got a lot to finish off. Okay. I keep saying that. This is... All right, let's do this. Let's get some moss glued at the bottom. Oh, before I do that. All right, it's hot glue time. It's hot glue time. I got a piece of canvas that's just cut from just a piece of canvas drop cloth, okay? And it's going to be our little pocket on the back. Okay, this is just where you're going to like interchange those flowers. Yeah, you don't want to rush. You don't want to rush that crackle stuff. So you play with it, follow the instructions, and let it do its thing. I went for it, but it didn't turn out exactly like I wanted, but that's all right. We're going to move past it. Okay, so we got our thing on the back. We've got some moss stuck all over to our little gumminess. Oh gosh. Yeah. Heavy cracking or not, it's just an extra touch. It doesn't have to have the heavy cracking at all. And it would have been, it's fine. It's a fine detail anyway. So I'm going to drizzle some Spanish moss, some green Spanish moss at the bottom. Okay. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And then, oh, I forgot this little piece. I'm going to cut some pieces of this. This is just off a little greenery, okay? It's about to get messy in here. This is just to give it kind of a woodlands look. How am I doing on time? I haven't even looked up in a while. Y'all remember to go check my friend Sarah out over at Booksy and Buttons. We just got some embellishing to do on this. That is all. I might play with that fine line crackle a little bit more and try to get it to really do something on this, but we'll see. Still got some work to do, so. All right, this is just to give it a little bit of movement, even with the moss. Look how cute that is. Isn't that pretty? So then we're going to take some Osnaburg that we were just talking about. We're going to glue it at the top right here. Okay. So it's going to look like it's kind of wrapped on the top there. We'll just go ahead and take it back and glue it back here, though you don't have to, but we will. So cute. Okay, I kind of want to do a little bit more shading and stuff. I'm going to move to the bow just before I do that because I want y'all to kind of see a little bit of whatever. I want you to have this bunny print more than anything, okay? I want y'all to be able to get crafty with it. Got some black ink that I am just going to kind of run along this embossing on the top. That gives a little bit more character there. Run do a little bit around the edges. So cute. That just gives it some darkness, kind of playing in the darkness. Okay, of course we need a bow. Of course we need a bow. such a cute idea. Yeah, I used a wet wipe. Somebody asked me if I used a wet wipe. Yeah, I did. I rushed it. I got too excited and I rushed it. It's okay though. I'm going to do some little bit more blending on it probably when I hop off here with y'all. But let's make a bow real quick. All right. Now I've got some black ticking. Yeah, the colors are fun, right? So the spring green is really beautiful and pops off that that turquoise. I agree. It's good stuff. Okay, I'm gonna cut a couple steps of this. This is just black ticking, primitive looking ticking. Okay, a little bit of burlap. And I'm going to show you this other sample that I made too. And then some Osnaburg. Let me put this to the side. Let's see. Here's my Osnaburg. It is a mess up in here if y'all could see behind the scenes. It looks like a tornado comes through after you're done with a project like this. Thank you, Stephanie. Y'all, the group link you need to see all the other presenters is at the top in my description of this video. All right, this is a literal 5-minute bow. Are you ready for this? This is just holding my stuff, okay? So I like to do it where I have like loopy loops. So then I put a loopy loop here and a loopy loop here. It's not going to be 5-minute bow. We're going to do this in like 2 minutes. I still got to put the flowers in it. All right, black ticking. So all I'm doing is loop back and forth. That is all. I've got various lengths and stuff like that, so I can always trim. I'm trying to think if I forgot anything. Well, if I did. All right. I'm going to do one more piece of this. When you're working with fabric that is not the same on both sides, you gotta, when you're trying to do it in your bow maker, sometimes if you want those pieces to show as your tails, I suggest. Wonder if anybody timed me. Did I get it made in 2 minutes? I love all the textures too. And I think that makes a big difference. I like the kind of woodlands feel with springy crafts and all that. For sure. Okay. Get me a piece of string. And I'm going to report back to y'all about this crackle. I'm going to get it and I'm going to show you a close-up. I'm going to conquer it and not rush it. Okay. So got my cute little bow. How'd I do? I do okay? Look. All right, let's glue it in place. And the blue does feel like spring. It just reminds me of like a little robin's egg. Gorgeous. Gotta put the flowers in though. All the shading and stuff like that, y'all just come back and let me update you on what I end up doing there. Put a cute little button in the center. Oh, this one's pretty. It's got little flowers on it. That is so pretty. Okay. Woo! So, I want to show you another color. Y'all are probably going to see this color that is presented by some other people. Okay? These are snowball hydrangeas from Hobby Lobby. And just some little wispy twigs. I still need to do a little bit more shading. I will. I'll get back with y'all on that for absolutely sure. I gotta play this. But you're probably gonna see this color is called Cascade by Folk Art, okay? And then just staple a little string like so. But this color right here on this little sample that I did is called Tiffany Blue. So this is a different blue that I still need to get some crackling happening. And this is the Tiffany Blue, and you've probably seen it used a little bit. We made this, and the bow's a little different. It just looks, oh, I actually like the way this rusty one turned out. So, it's done enough, okay? It's done enough that you get the idea. See how I just tied the little string on the back of the pocket there for you to be able to hang it up if you'd like. I also think it'd be really pretty tied onto like a grapevine wreath. It'd be a pretty wreath embellishment. And then just some more shading, and I'm probably going to do a little bit of antiquing like around the bunny and stuff like that. My crackle, you know, it happens. Stuff like that happens. But we got a cute bow on it. We got it pretty much made where you can see what it's supposed to be. And then you can pop the flowers out and use any colors that you like. So I do love it. Let me give you a close-up of that rusty crest. That's my favorite part. And the bunnies, of course. And then you've got like a 3D feel with all that. So how fun. These snowball hydrangeas are my absolute favorite if y'all are looking for pretty spring florals. Hey Hope, thank y'all so much for hanging out with me and chatting and all the things. Michelle's Crafty Crafts. Hey Anna, J&A Woodcrafts. Stephanie, thanks again for having me. Y'all go check out Sarah at Booksy and Button. She's up next, and I'm sure she has something amazing planned. Thank y'all for hanging out with me to see this one come together and be looking for a picture of it. I'll talk to y'all later, okay? All right, bye-bye, y'all.